Inspired Michiana. I'm Diane Bennett with Inspired Homes in both Michigan and Indiana, and we are doing a tour with our very own Trina Uslick. She's a real legit first-time home buyer, and today we're taking her to Hallmark Home Mortgage, and she's going to talk to Jane Koebel about what it is, what steps she needs to take to buy her first home. So come on inside and let's see how it goes. So we are having a great time here at Hallmark. Trina Uslick is really legit buying her own first house with her and her fiance, and so we brought her to Jane Koebel here at Hallmark. And just what would you tell any first-time home buyer when they're getting started? What are things that you'd recommend that Trina does to get started?
Okay. First of all, you'd want to get pre-approved for a mortgage, and there is a difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification.
Okay.
Sometimes on the pre-qualification, basically the lender just pulls your credit and uses the income that you state, which there can be a problem down the road on that. So on the pre-approval, the way that I do it, which may be different than other lenders, is I will collect your pay stubs, your W-2s, tax returns, bank statements, because I don't want there to be any issues down the road once you find that house.
Right.
And it does make the closing go a lot quicker. If you do need a really fast closing, we have a quick to close type loan that we can close in 18 business days.
Wow.
So if you find something and you need to close really quick, we can do that. And that's one of the other reasons why I get all the documents up front.
So that way you have them, she's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what are some things that you and John have talked about that you want to know about?
Speaking about needing to close quickly, John needs to be out of his house that he's in now by July 1st.
Okay.
I think. So what would you recommend going forward as we're going through this process of trying to pick a lender and, going through the process? How is there like a schedule you think we should do this by this day, or whatever? How long does this take usually?
Well, I would get started on the pre-approval as soon as possible, because it's good for 90 days. And that way then you've got it, you're good to go. You know what your price range is, because you certainly don't want to look outside your price range.
Right. That's a great point.
It's always hard to come down then if you have higher expectations. Yeah. And that way, of course, Diane can get you in the right range. Mm-hmm. And that's the way I would start. We have this is a brand new booklet that Hallmark just came out with. Okay. This gives you tips step by step on the mortgage guide. It takes you through homeownership, talks about what Diane will do on your behalf as a realtor. Mm-hmm. It talks about what documents that you'll need, do's and don'ts. Because when you're in the buying process, you don't want to close credit cards, you don't want to significantly increase balances, because your credit can be monitored during that whole time. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of good information in here to help with the home buying process as well.
Awesome.
So you can have that, take that, and
so since this is legit Tuesday Tips, and we have other buyers that are watching, I'm gonna say they can, message us here, and I can put them in touch with you. If they want to get this, they can just contact you directly.
Contact me directly, and I'll be happy to get them that great tool. And the other thing that Hallmark does that's a little bit different than other lenders is we are a correspondent lender. So what we do is check a lot of different sources for interest rates. So instead of you contacting 5, 6, 7 lenders, what I do is we have a base of lenders that we use. Some of them are big banks, some of them are small community banks, and so I'm able to check what their interest rate is on any given day for any particular product. So if you're looking at a conventional loan, one of the lenders may have an appetite for that loan that day versus FHA. So that way I take a lot of that shopping away from you, so you can focus on other things.
What is FHA?
FHA is a product through the federal government, and it requires a 3.5% down payment, where a conventional loan requires a 3% down payment. Okay. There's 2 different types of appraisals. The FHA appraisal is going to be a little more in depth and specific as far as the condition of the property.
Like peeling paint and stuff like that with an FHA loan there.
And that would be something that Diane would be able to let you know whether the home would pass with FHA or not. Okay. Yeah, if there's peeling paint or broken windows, you have to have smoke detectors, where conventional really doesn't care much about those items. So, as far as your credit score, FHA is more forgiving on a lower credit score, but if you have a nice high credit score, or you're in the 700s, the conventional 3% product is definitely the way to go.
Okay.
And so so based on what the buyer's condition is, what Trina and John have, or anybody else that's going to be contacting you, that's how you decide whether they should go, and you're going to steer them to what seems to make the most sense for that particular buyer, right?
Exactly. But I'm still going to give you all the options. I'm going to say, okay, FHA, your interest rate would be X. Here's what your total payment would be with mortgage insurance, which is a monthly charge, because if you don't have 20% down, you'll have that monthly mortgage insurance.
On either, right?
On
FHA
either.
or conventional, right?
And the dollar or the percentage varies depending, again, on credit score. FHA, it's standard, but it varies on conventional. So I would give you all the options and let you decide, the FHA is good, conventional is better. I'll need to know as far as how much you have for down payment, and if you're going to need assistance with closing costs, or if you're going to have the funds to pay your own closing costs, because you can ask the seller to pay part of your closing costs for
right.
you.
Right.
And that percentage and dollar amount varies depending on type of loan.
What's involved in the closing cost?
In the closing costs, you're going to have the appraiser's fee. The title companies have a fee for the title insurance. They also have a fee to close the loan. Hallmark has an underwriting fee. There's recording fees to record the deed and the mortgage. So there's going to be various fees.
And they range
involved.
from like the percentage. They range from this percent to this percent of the purchase price, or they range from this dollar amount to this dollar amount. What are
They usually vary on a dollar amount basis.
Okay.
It's not a percentage. Yeah.
Okay.
It would be a dollar amount basis.
Got it.
So,
All right.
but that's something seller can pay for you too.
Right. Right.
So that's why when we do the pre-approval, then I get all of your personal information, so I can give you guidance on, different programs.
right. And it'll say right there on your pre-approval letter, so it'll tell the seller, no, she has to have $3,000 worth of closing cost assistance or something like that.
Gotcha.
So.
Yep, and I highlight that in red, so nobody has any doubts that whether you need assistance. And I would let Diane know as well, just kind of point out that, that you would need assistance and what the dollar amount of assistance is that you need.
Right.
Yeah.
The pre-approval process, we can get that done in a matter of an hour or so, sometimes less, if I have your documentation, and give you a pre-approval letter, and you're good to go.
Right.
Go.
All right. Look at houses.
Look at houses, fun time. Then it's all up to Diane there to
Very
find
good.
the perfect house, which she will, of course.
Awesome. All right. Well, Facebook, thanks so much for watching. Jane, thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.
Yep. And
Yeah.
so we're excited. So
Happy homeownership.
Right. Thank you.
Yes. So if you guys have questions, we will hook you up with Jane. So messages here. Thanks, Facebook. Bye-bye.